Hey, welcome, folks. Wednesday night, it's Fraser and Sarah again with our Wednesday night gin tasting. So lovely to have you with us on a pretty balmy Auckland, a bit overcast, but pretty balmy, I have to say. And lovely to have you here. Hopefully, you've had a good day, and certainly those of us in Auckland, maybe you even had a picnic or two, socially distanced, of course. And maybe you had a gin with you. I don't know. You might be sitting in the park right now. I don't know. It's not impossible. But lovely to have you here. What I do hope you've got, though, is a couple of things. One is you've got this bottle that says, what should we call it? Bureaucrats gin. So that's that you've got, the little miniature, with the QR code in the back. That, of course, is going to take you to a label that's going to look a little different, but nevertheless, it's the same gin. And we also want to make sure that you've got your tasting notes. So there we go, tasting notes. And of course, as always, just a reminder that on the back of that page is where there's space for you to actually make your notes themselves. And of course, a glass. So, folks, brilliant to have you here. As far as this evening is concerned, John from Bureaucrats is with us. John's the genius behind the gins, and in fact, we've met John before. John was in our first box way back in February when we had the magnificent Doyen, the one that got rave reviews from everyone, and that's where we certainly loved here. But it's not that gin tonight. Tonight is a little different, and I'll introduce you to John in a moment. But a quick reminder, folks, the value is that this is a corridor. Corridor is we talk. You talk, you share your thoughts, you share your input, you give us your ideas. If you got cocktails or you're mixing and so on, that's really working with you. Tell us about it. Share it with the rest of the group. And so in order to do that, use the comments box on the right-hand side of your screen. Please put your comments in there. We will make sure that John gets to see them. Well, one of us will see them anyway. And I'm sure we're likely to get your answer then. Hopefully.
There we go.
Cordial and nice to have you. Welcome, as always.
Good to see you too.
All right, but that's enough from me. Sarah, anything you wanted to say?
Actually, I will take this moment. Sorry, you know me. If you give me the mic, I'll take it. But I will take this moment just to give a little word of warning out to everybody, and that is that I'm sure you're aware that and John will concur with this, I'm sure, that New Zealand is having a bit of a freight issue at the moment. And so because of that, we have had delays of getting stuff into us, but I'm just warning, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that those boxes get out to you as fast as we possibly can, but there may be delays in this month's tasting box. I'm giving you a week's notice so then you can, kind of warm yourself up to the idea that it could be a little bit past the 15th that you get your box this month. We're going to do everything in our power, including hand delivering some of the stuff ourselves. But obviously, I'm not going to swim the cook straight for you. I, draw a line sometimes, and that is it. So yeah, there may be some delays with our boxes this month, and I apologise. Well, we all apologise in advance. So that's my little public service announcement for this evening.
And the only other thing that I'm sure you were going to say, but I'll tell them anyway. Hey, to our new members, nice to have you with us. Welcome.
Oh, yes, absolutely. As always, it's lovely. We actually had 3 new members join this morning, so that's fabulous. So we're getting lots of new members joining us, and if you are a new member, say hi in the group. We love to meet you, and you will soon find out that this group is a very fun group, very focused on gin and sharing all of the gin-related things that we can come up with. So yes, welcome.
Awesome. Okay, so John from Bureaucrats, nice to have you with us again. It's brilliant to have you, and really thrilled to have another one of your gins in our box. So nice to have you here, John. Welcome.
Thanks so much, Fraser, and thank you, Sarah. And Sarah, I understand your woes with the freight. I would challenge anybody to find a distiller in New Zealand that hasn't suffered from some supply issues. We had our problem of 5,000 bottles were stuck somewhere in Singapore, I think, in January. So we had a massive supply issue as well. So I completely understand. So look, thank you so much for having me and inviting me along for your live tasting. This is really exciting. I love doing these things. The opportunity to get out and talk to people has diminished somewhat. And some of you may well be aware that there was a gin festival meant to be happening in the first weekend of November, and that got cancelled. Hopefully just rescheduled till next year is my understanding. But so having this opportunity to go online is absolutely brilliant. And I can't thank Fraser and Sarah and the team enough at Suggestion. So thanks very much for that.
You're welcome. I'm
So,
going to change our screens around so then we can
yeah, no,
see
change the
you,
screens
John.
around. That's right. Well,
Yeah.
There we go. We
I
can
can see
you
myself
much
close
better.
enough. I'm not sure that's such a good thing. There you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are guinea pigs to some degree tonight. This gin that we are bringing to you, the cucumber lime and mint gin, is an experimental gin. It's a new gin that we've been having fun with. We've been trying out quite a bit ourselves. We really like it, but this is an exclusive for you guys. We've had a couple of variations of it at some of the gin festivals a year or so ago, but this was one that we've actually sort of settled upon as a botanical combination, and so we're actually now officially, this is the first time we're actually being able to sell it, and we're only selling it as an exclusive through Suggestion to start with. Obviously, if it becomes world famous, then obviously we might have to expand our retailers. But in the first instance, Suggestion is the perfect place to do this.
Brilliant.
And the reason Suggestion is the perfect place to do this is because we want feedback. You've got to be honest. You've got to be honest with me about what you think of this gin, because you guys know gin. You're what was the word you used, Fraser? Fanatical. That was it, wasn't it? Absolutely. And so am I, and so is Fraser, and so is Sarah. We're all fanatical. So you guys know your stuff. So I'm really interested in your feedback, what you think. All feedback is good. So please be honest, and it all helps build our experience, because one thing we've learned in this business is just because I like something doesn't mean you like it, and so on. So it'd be good to get your feedback. Yeah. So should we move into a tasting of the gin? Is that probably
that would be lovely, John? We'd love that.
Okay, awesome.
Did you notice, actually, I couldn't stand it any longer and I took a sneaky sip. Did you see that? I'm just fessing up now.
You're on the small.
That wasn't recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and also, John, just before we kick into it, can I just say that one of the things that John and I spoke about some time ago was that in terms of the name for this particular gin, they're not settled on anything in particular yet, but they did want to hear what your thoughts were. So don't comment yet. Don't offer your suggestions yet. Taste it, savor it, get to immerse yourself in it. And as we move on through the evening, we're going to ask you to start putting up your suggestions into the comment box of what you think that they should be calling this gin. So that's just a heads up. Keep in the back of your mind, incubating that, and we're going to get in the tasting. John, the floor's yours.
Well, the only thing I'll add to that, Fraser, is in line with how we market as well. We obviously have the Bureaucrats and the Doyen. So we very much work with with characters as well. So maybe that's something you can think about when you're thinking of a name for this gin. It doesn't have to be. We're very open to new ideas. So yeah, just have a little, keep that, as Fraser says, keep it in the back of your mind. Okay, so we'll crack on with the tasting. And so I hope you all got your glasses and a cube of ice. And the way I've always done these tastings, and I've plagiarized this off some of the other gin distilleries on how to do the tasting, is having a taste of the gin with just a bit of ice, just to get an idea of the flavour, and then putting the tonic in afterwards. I think if you just add the tonic straight away, you kind of lose that opportunity to really understand it. So I've got my.
And I do think with this one, John, the ice really pulls out the flavors. Like, and certainly from an aroma perspective, the nose is much stronger when you've got ice in it and it's a bit chilled compared to when you just, like, if you're just having a sniff out of the bottle, for example.
Absolutely, and we all like a sniff out of the bottle from occasion, just to remind us. But absolutely, I just find the ice just takes the edge off the alcohol and just releases some of those flavors. Now, this gin, interesting, I'm going to be really honest with you, has changed. We distilled this one, I'm going to say 3 or 4 months ago, and I'm quite surprised by how much it's actually changed in the last couple of months since we tasted it. But it's the cucumber has certainly taken on a much stronger note in this. Personally, I love cucumber, so that's good for me. But I think if we just all have a taste of it, and then I'll remind myself of, I get cucumber on the nose. I think most people do, but there's something cooling about it as well.
Yeah, that's nice.
So actually, the cucumber has taken a bit of a back note, especially with the ice in there, and it lingers for me. But we've got lime and mint in there, and I think what's happening with the lime is less of a flavour, and more of a sort of a cooling effect is what I'm getting from that. And the mint is relatively subtle, but I think it just adds something at the back of the palate. Certainly, that's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
All I can talk about is my own experience. So I'll be interested to see. Shove the comments down there. See what other people are getting.
It smells so fresh, and you think of summer. I totally agree. That cucumber immediately makes you just think, oh, I want this as a beautiful long drink in a hot summer's day. You know, like that's what I thought straight away as soon as I smelled it. Oops.
Well, interestingly, David, who is my business partner, he's the creator, the distiller of this gin. He's the accountant with a flair for creativity. I'm not talking about creative accounting. He's an honest man, but he's a genuinely creative guy when it comes to flavors, a real foodie. And so he's the one that comes up with these combinations. And you know, and it's not, I don't think it's unfair to say that we do look at what's on the market, see what's around, see what's going on. And so you look at things like Hendrix, and they've got that subtle cucumber note to it that they add in after the distillation. And so that's where he got that idea from to build on. But yeah, the idea is fresh, absolutely fresh. Celery is the closest. Yeah, there's no celery in there, but I know what you mean. There's that sort of that I think that must be the mint. I'm sure that must be the mint that's going with the lime and the cucumber in there.
Yeah, maybe that combination of the two. And here's somebody saying, I with ice, I still get the lime and mint, but not so much cucumber. So it's so interesting, eh? You know, like it just dies off the nose, and then in the mouth, it's very mint and lime. I'm getting a lot more mint. I think somebody else is saying that too. The mint is stronger, yeah, but, lovely and refreshing.
But the cucumber has not disappeared, but it certainly has sort of gone back in the background. It's much less pronounced, much clearly defined.
That's really interesting. I'm picking up the cucumber, and again, this is what we've experienced. Everyone picks up certain things more than others. There is a slight problem with doing a tasting like this. Is we start talking about what we're experiencing, and as soon as you said, "Oh, I'm picking up that mint," I go, "Oh yeah, me too."
Yeah,
and, yeah.
It's so funny, isn't it? But
we're very suggestible.
But that's the thing that we're finding with these tastings, especially, is sometimes there are just things that you cannot put your finger on, or your taste buds to, and then somebody else names it for you, and you're like, that's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so I hope we've all had a little taste of that, and
it does have a mojito gin taste.
I have heard that before. Yeah, I've heard that before. Yeah,
I quite agree with you, Cordula.
Well, I'm a bit impatient, so I'm putting in some. I've gone very, very straightforward. The Indian fever tree tonic. Try not to muck around with it too much, because I find once you found a tonic that it kind of helps you. That's your base, and you're not having to sort of try and work out the tonic as well. So I just stick with what I know, and then it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got an agreement, Cordula, on the mojito gin kind of a taste. Here's it. Here we go. Loving this gin on ice. Still get the cucumber.
There you go.
Yeah.
Facebook user is my friend. There we are.
I think I'm loving it without the ice, to be honest. With that clearer cucumber coming through, I think we really loved it. So my first bit was with that. Next one will be just on its own, I think.
So this combination really sits with what Bureaucrats gin is all about.
Yeah.
So when we first did our first tasting with you, the Doyen, which was a cucumber coconut, cucumber, and lemongrass. Cucumber, lime, and lemongrass. You can see
Coconut,
there's
lime,
a
and
coconut,
Yeah.
lemongrass, and lime. Yeah.
You're still trying to get the cucumber in there.
I am. When you're trying to work at the gin festivals and you've got the cucumber, lime, and mint and the doyen next to each other, and you're trying to work out the botanicals, it becomes a bit of a mess, I can tell you. But anyway, but you can get the idea. We've got the Black Doris plum, and we've got the spiced cinnamon, which is the Bureaucrat, and you can see where we're going with this. What style of gin brand we are? We're a contemporary style.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is this bottle that these are in, this round bottle, is now going to be our new bottle. This is a 200 ml,
Right.
and we're going to do the gins in a 700 ml as well, in the same bottle, in a round bottle. And it's going to be much more contemporary. So we've got quite a traditional style at the moment, and we want to move away from that slightly, because I think it's slightly confusing for the end consumer as to what they're getting. Are they getting a traditional gin? And while we love the traditional gins, that's not where we're at the moment. Although David is doing a London dry style, he's trying to work through that at the moment. But we are primarily a contemporary style. So in the next couple of months, we're going to start slowly releasing the new bottles with our gins in them. We think that the designs look good. It still has the clear Bureaucrats, but they're going to be much more contemporary. I hope the public like them. I think they will do. I think it'll be clearer for them as well. So
That's cool.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's hard work as well. The design process is an interesting process. We've done all of this ourselves right from the get-go, and I'm sure any people out there that have done their own designs, you think you've got it right, you go for it, and then sort of 6 months later you're looking and going, oh, I wish I could tweak that, I wish I could change that. So that's kind of where we've got to at the moment. We want to really sort of nail our image as a contemporary gin distillery.
And I think, for gin labels particularly, it's becoming more and more important, because I can't tell you how many times I hear people say, oh, I just based it on what the bottle looked like, like that's how I picked my gin. I'm like, oh, jeepers, did you not even read the botanicals? Like, at least do that, But
I have to say that's how I am when I go for a bottle of wine. Is I have a price range and I look at the label, and if the two are agreeable to me, then that's usually a goer. So it is.
How many bottles of wine have you drunk?
Yeah. Absolutely. I've just seen another Facebook user saying, I don't sat this. I sort of say this often. But I could happily sip this with just ice. And that's a really, really good point. And that's why whenever we make a gin, it's one of our requirements that we can sip it with ice. There are some gins out there that definitely require a tonic, and that's fine, and that's great. I'm not knocking those at all. But we want gins that you can have with just a block of ice and enjoy as well, just as it is, rather than having to add tonic. Because we're finding out not everybody likes tonic, but that's just...
Yeah, totally. I think you go from bad to worse, Jenny, because that one said I'll just sit with this with just ice rather than sip. But it's okay. We feel your pain. We totally know it. You should see some of the messages we send each other. Very inappropriate sometimes. This is interesting. So Cordial is saying, I get quite strong aniseed or angelica as well. Can you speak to that, John?
I can try. There isn't aniseed in there or anything like star anise or anything like that. So I'm not sure where you're picking this up. Although the only thing I would say to that is, again, it's going back to that. Everybody tastes something different, and the taste that you get is influenced. It has so many influences. It can be, obviously, it's very personal to you, but it can be what you've eaten in the last couple of hours. It depends on how tired you are. It depends on how hydrated you are.
Absolutely.
It's such a personal thing. I mean, the best wine tasting I went to, which put everybody at ease, was the lady stood up and said, if you taste something in there, then that's what you taste, and that's fine. There's no right or wrong answers to this. So if you are tasting aniseed or angelica in there, absolutely, that's what your profile is picking up. I can say there isn't any of those in there, but that's not to say that's not what you're tasting. Absolutely.
Yeah,
There's
and
some
I
other
think
great comments coming through as well. So somebody's agreeing this is great on the rocks, but also I'm the same for Doyen from Bureaucrats. On the rocks is gorgeous. I totally agree. So Doyen is, well, possibly up until today, definitely my favorite summer tipple. I mean, it's going to be hard to get past the Doyen, to be fair, because that's just screamed to me all the good things I love.
It set a very, very, very high bar for that first box. I have to
Didn't
say.
it just?
Yeah.
It's straight out of the box as well, literally, excuse the pun, but straight out in our first box.
And it's a gin that we've used at different tastings and promotions and so on. It's always one of those, you got to have this one. And every time we expose someone to this, we love that.
Wow, that's amazing.
The coconut and the lemongrass that comes through so beautifully. So, and it's I think it's, which is why this gin for me sits so right in that bureaucrat space. I think it's just lovely.
It does. Yeah. It really does. And you've also got a fan from Cordula for the bureaucrat as well. And I have to say, if anyone is a cinnamon fanatic like me, oh my goodness, that is next level.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, this is really good for my ego. Keep them coming. I love it very much.
Getting the mint aftertaste. Very
yes, that's what I get.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. You can see me drinking this gin this summer on the deck over ice. I might share maybe. Yeah.
Well, it's an exclusive to Suggest Gin, so you know where it is now. They've got it on their shelves. I think at this point I might just add something else that will be news to Fraser and Sarah as well. We've just managed to finalize something. This is hot off the press. Only 2 people know about this. Oh, 3, my wife as well. So we're releasing a new gin soon. Again, just in the 200ml bottles, and it is it's a blueberry and lemon gin.
Oh,
wow!
And it's deep purple color. You can barely see through it. It's just so rich. I have to cook the blueberries right down, really intensify the flavor into a deep syrup. No added sugar. It's just the fruit. And then when I add it in, you find that blueberry, the color of it just goes everywhere. It's just even on fingers and pans and everything else, wherever it touches, it sticks to. But it makes the gin go this deep purple color. It's just beautiful. So that's happening. So that's something else coming out soon.
Is there a timeline for that?
Yes. So probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks, it'll be bottled up, ready to go. Absolutely. And that's very nice. It's got the sweetness of the blueberries, and it's got this lovely tart lemon. We've used real good, rich lemons, big, juicy yellow lemons and the rinds and everything. And it gives a real tang to it. It's just beautiful. Lovely play.
Yes. Well, I'm sure Sarah will be on to you about making sure we get some stock of that as soon as it's available.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So Cordula's already saying that she absolutely loves it. Okay, who shall remain nameless is saying, I am so pleased I stayed open-minded and tried it. This is somebody who is a sworn-off cucumber, does not like cucumber at all. Yes, it is. Like it neat with the mint smell, over ice, and now with Fever Tree Mediterranean. We have swayed her, Fraser. We've swayed her.
Honestly, I thought it was a hill too far.
Yeah, I thought so too. I didn't think we were going to get there, John, but we have. So
she's
you've converted somebody we never thought we'd convert.
A militant anti-cucumberist.
Yeah, and you find them. There's a few of them out there, and I respect them. But I'm so glad I've turned one. Maybe she can stay as a mole and infiltrate the rest of them.
Here's a great suggestion that this is fantastic. Sounds like the perfect aperitif for Christmas dinner. And
is that
I'm
the
not
blueberry
sure.
and lemon one?
Yeah, I think the blueberry and lemon. I'm not sure.
I go this one before Christmas. I think that's lovely. This
Yeah, but
one before Christmas dinner, blueberry and lemon maybe after Christmas dinner. How's that?
Mm.
yeah.
Oh, yes. See, Cordula doesn't like cucumber either. And she says, I'm still really confused about this gin. So that's interesting, Cordula. Is the cucumber coming through stronger for you or the mint coming through stronger? And then Cordula's also was saying that she's got like an aniseed flavor and an angelica type flavor coming through.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't please everybody all of the time, but I tell you what, Cordula, your other comments, I make this one seem fine. But I really appreciate the feedback, and yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm going to put this actual piece of Nikki, close your eyes, but I'm going to put a piece of cucumber actually in it.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Somebody's added it. I wasn't getting any cucumber, so I took a punt on the Fever Tree cucumber tonic. Not a lot of it because I like the gins straight, and I have to say, totally summer. Wow. Because I was in the same, whoever that is, I didn't catch who it was, but I was in the same boat. I was like, oh, I wonder what will happen if we add cucumber tonic, because sometimes, John, when you add, say, the botanical of something that's really strong in the gin, it almost neutralizes it out. It's really interesting, and I just can't figure out what that is.
It's a risky game, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that goes back to what I was saying before. That's why I choose a tonic that I know, and then I can work out what else is happening then, rather than just trying to guess the tonic as well. But even
with a touch of a sparkling Perrier or sort of soda would actually be quite nice with it as well. You know.
And we've done that in the past as well, and that's actually not a bad way to drink it as well. But I have to say, I think the tonic works though for a proper summer drink. I'm not a huge tonic fan, but there's certain gins that I love a good tonic. The Doyen's one, love with a tonic, and I love this with the tonic. I think it's possibly because there's quite a decent amount of citrus in the botanicals, and I think that cuts through the tonic.
And you would typically go for a traditional Indian tonic, John, or what tonic would you?
That's what I normally do. Again, I'm not a huge tonic fan, so I do things like the Bureaucrat with ginger ale or ginger beer, but ginger ale is probably better. And I often have soda water with gins, but there's some that I like the Doyen. I don't like that with soda water. I much prefer that with the tonic. So although I'm not a huge tonic fan, there are some gins I just think work really well. Our Black Doris Plum, actually, I have that with a soda water or a tonic. Some of those gins really lift themselves up with a tonic. There's a reason gin and tonic is popular. You know, it's it's tradition, and there's a reason it's a tradition.
Yeah.
So I've just had a bash with my version of a gin mojito. That was what was in my cocktail shaker. I wish I'd added a little bit more mint because I do like a strong mint mojito. But this gin just carries it so beautifully. Really adds nicely to it.
I think that's something we're going to have to try, Sarah.
It's a winner. It is an absolute winner. That's better than a regular mojito, people. Way better.
Well, just for the record, my assistant seems to be digging into the gin quite freely here. So I think there's a perhaps unspoken but nevertheless endorsement from somewhere behind the scenes here, the producer.
Excellent. This is what it's all about, isn't it? This is about having fun with making these new gins and botanicals and seeing what people say. There you go, lovely with soda water. Yeah. Absolutely agree with you. Yeah.
Here we go. Delicious, says the assistant. Jill, you're so multi-talented. You actually managed to type it well. I'm so impressed.
Actually, I've just put that extra bit of cucumber in there. That slice of cucumber really lifts it.
Yeah, lovely.
Boom.
Yep.
And did you find that it neutralized the cucumber taste or adds to the cucumber?
I thought it increased it a bit, particularly when I had it on ice. But when I put the tonic in, I found the cucumber went away and I got more of the mint and lime. So I actually added the cucumber back in. So it's been a bit up and down for me. Been one of those evenings, you know.
Been one of those 8 weeks for us. Yeah.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. Cordial says, I've just added some Mediterranean tonic and that is good. Now I'm on board with the cucumber, mint and lime train. There you go.
It's funny
Well,
how it changes it. Changes the whole landscape. As soon as you add that tonic, it changes the whole landscape. Isn't it funny?
Yeah,
And we
so
sort
I've done the
out
same.
Yeah. And what did you think, Fraser?
Yeah, it changed it dramatically. And as you know, Sarah, and in fact, regular viewers know that I'm generally really a reluctant mixer. I generally prefer on the rocks, but that's really nice, really lovely. So yeah, it's nice. It's changed it quite dramatically, but it's a really nice drink now. Oh,
And as everybody knows from previous calls this month, I had to take one for the team and do all the matching this month because we were in lockdown, and so I was the only one that was able to get to the gins and the tonics, and so I did the matchings, and I must admit I went for the Mediterranean tonic with this one because I was like, it just added a little bit of something. It just had a little bit more in the tonic that added to the cucumber. But anyone out there who's tried that elderflower with it as well, I thought that was exquisite too. So the elderflower fever tree tonic, John.
Okay.
We matched it with that as well, and I just thought that was really beautiful. I think it just, it floraled the gin a little bit. So if you like a lovely floral gin,
I can imagine actually. Yeah, I can imagine that.
It was really, like what good value. You can get like so many gins out of one bottle, so many different flavored gins out of one bottle,
It's a minefield though, isn't it? It really is, particularly for the end consumer. They've got to choose the right gin that they want. And I thought that was hard enough because there's so many out there. And then once you bought your gin, the guy in the shop will say, well, do you want a tonic? And you go, and then he shows you a range of different tonics, and you think, well, which one do I have? So it's a real, the only way to find out is to keep going and keep testing in moderation, but keep chipping away, and you find out what you like and what you don't like, and slowly it gets there. I have to say I'm fairly ignorant when it comes to all the different tonics. I'm a little bit play safe, but I think I'm going to try the elderflower one. That sounds good.
Yeah, it really is.
There was, I think, John, did you get a box from us?
I haven't yet. No.
Not yet.
There are freight issues.
Okay, so in there is an elderflower. So try it when it gets there.
Oh, perfect. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, so that's lovely. Well, gosh, what a great gin. Yeah, that's lovely. I see people really saying, "Oh, bring it on. I'll have some of that." I saw someone making a comment there.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm tapping away in the background because I've just had a message from one of our members saying we're trying to buy it on the website and we can't. So I'm frantically sorting that out, people. Sorry about that. We didn't post up because we were waiting to see whether John wanted to actually name it before we put it onto the website. Yeah. So your QR code goes just to the website for that one.
It's going to be backwards, I think. Oh no, cucumber, lime, and mint gin. That is the name at the moment. It's really not very creative, is it? But
it's not that sexy.
It simply says what it is. But because it's a short release, because it's a have fun, give it a go, short run of it, it may go nowhere. We may retire this one if it's not a popular thing. But if it's a popular thing, we do need to name it. I think to name this gin, we have to launch a ship at it, and but we don't know what to name these things. We kind of struggle with the naming of our gins. The Bureaucrat was easy, the Doyen was easy, and then we kind of dried up a little bit. So please, if anybody's got any good ideas, put them in my head, please.
Put them in the comments, people.
Yeah, this is your chance. This is your chance now. You've had a chance to savor it. You've smelled it. You've got all those flavors. You've picked up the mint and all the different things. What do you reckon? What would be a cool name for this? And also, you know, the person, I guess, is it?
Sorry, I'm so laughing at this comment. Fraser, how about your suggestion name? That was our behind the scenes name, Nikki. You're not supposed to put that out there. Fraser
I'll tell you what, as a prize, if and there's lots of ifs in this because we don't know whether we're going to launch with it in a long term or anything like that in the big bottles or anything like that. But if somebody was to name it and we were to launch with the big bottles, I would have on the back somewhere where it says made in New Zealand, in Wellington or wherever, all that's, I would say this gin was named by, and I'd write the person's name on there.
Wow, that is impressive.
That would be all right, wouldn't it? That would be a bit of kudos there, and yeah,
that'd be cool. Right, so get them coming in, folks. What are you suggesting? What are you thinking? Yeah. So it's tzatziki. Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Well, I didn't like that one, Fraser, just because I can't say it. So, you know, too confusing for me.
Yeah, but to have that with a good shawarma, you know, to have a good one of these gins with a shawarma.
Well, you're just getting fancy.
Yes, I can see that. Okay, so what we got so far?
Did you see the one from Cordula? I also can't pronounce that Cordula, so I'd like a gin that I can pronounce. That would be helpful.
Hold on, what have we got here? So Cordula's first of all, she's saying it's like a crowded waterfront bar on a sunny summer afternoon. Yeah, that's cool.
That's quite a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's probably
that's my name though. But yeah,
you'd need your 700ml bottle for that label.
Yeah.
What else have we got here? Contemporary name with the figure theme. How about a non-troglodyte?
Yeah.
What does that mean, Cordula? No, that's not Cordula. Who said that one? Oh, what about this one from Kylie?
Oh, okay. Here we go. Britannica.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm liking that.
Sort of themes, isn't it?
Yeah. I like it, but it's
the solstice.
The solstice. That's nice. There's a nice ring to that, isn't there?
There is a nice ring to that.
Fraser and Sarah, can you make sure you're recording all these? And that,
oh yeah.
Yeah, because I'm going. You know, I have terrible memory.
Cordula's giving us the German words.
Yeah, Freimann.
Yeah. And we do have a habit of adopting German words into our language, don't we? So, especially when we want to say something that nobody else quite understands, only a few people. So that's good.
Gemütlich, yeah.
Oh, here we are. Look, she's given us who is that? I keep missing whoever you are.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense. The non-troglodyte, yes. And it's the antithesis of old-fashioned, so that makes a lot of sense.
So that's that's building in the new branding as well. Yeah, this is not old-fashioned. This is contemporary. This is new.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Oh, I love the sort of the meaning behind the Foray band. For when the workday is finished, and literally translates to party evening. That's lovely. Yeah. So we've got a couple of we've got 4 options there so far: Britannica, Solstice, Freyband, Troglodyte, or non-troglodyte.
And it's not limited to this evening. If anybody thinks of anything at any points, then you know there's Facebook, there's Sarah and Fraser all the time. So just fire them in. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah, and of course, if you're watching this on the recording as well, you can also either just email us hello@suggestion.co.nz or pop a note in the Facebook page or the Facebook group and just under this video if you're watching it there, and we will get all of those to John.
Thank you. Well, the doyenne was originally going to be called the demi-mondaine, which is a beautiful word, but when you actually drill down into the original meaning of it, it means a high-class lady of questionable morals. So we dodged a bullet there and went for the doyenne, which was a much safer word.
or you lost an edge.
Oh, possibly. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, well, that's great. So, yes, folks, just a reminder, keep them coming, keep the ideas coming, keep the suggestions coming. And yes, thank you to that point as well, Sarah. If you are watching this and delayed and you're watching it after non-real time, you can still participate. You can still send your ideas through. John and Dave aren't going to make any decisions overnight. So just send them through, let us know, mull on it, and we'll make sure that they get to hear that.
Wonderful.
Right. What else have we got? Sama.
What was that one? Sama.
Sama.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that almost has a sort of Indian feel to it as well. I have a friend called Suman, so an Indian friend called Suman. So that's yeah, I like that. That's nice. Suman.
Suman, yeah, Suman.
Oh, Kylie, you're getting so fancy now. Athena.
Right.
Oh,
That's nice. Yeah, I like that.
Athena does feel quite good, doesn't it?
It does. It's very, very classical.
So you guys are well outdoing my because I was like cordialer. This is like mojito gin to me. This is what I would have called it mojito gin. So lucky that I'm not in the running for this, because we would have ended up with a really tragic name.
Well, my nephew still thinks I should call one of my gins Uncle John's gin. So I haven't given him yet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hipster.
Hipster.
Yeah.
Romati.
Romati. Ia hatukupu e Romati. Who's put that in there for us?
So Romati, of course, sorry, Romati is
the te reo meaning of that.
A summer.
Okay. I didn't know that's.
Yeah, Romati is Maori for summer.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this one of Anne's. You could go with a literal name.
Mentha cucurbit. Ooh, Anne, well done.
Oh, yeah, that's
Which
true.
she says means mint and cucumbers.
Wow.
Love drawing on
That's
the knowledge
really
of the group.
interesting. Anne, would you mind just saying which language that was in? Was that, I assume that was Latin, was it? Or
Yeah.
I studied Latin for several years, but none of it stuck, unfortunately.
It wasn't in earlier life.
Yeah.
Yes, Latin.
Yeah. I think I can conjugate one verb in Latin after 2 years of studying. That's about it.
Here we go. There's the honest truth. Google
language, yeah. My old Latin teacher, Mr. Gould, didn't predict that we'd have Google in the future, but so we had to commit all of these nouns and verbs to memory. So
recite them over and over again. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
And don't forget as well so John's kind of given you the brief, everybody, about, like the previous ones have been about a character, if you like. I can kind of see your shirt, maybe, John, getting longer and longer as you have extra people on the next to the logo.
Possibly. I think this will stay the same, and then we'll have new characters as well. But this will.
Yeah.
This is the logo now that we've settled upon. Yeah. So I don't think we'll end up with almost like the American generals' medals going across, slowly sticking out the edge there.
I've just hit the jackpot. John, have you eaten the cucumber yet?
No.
Oh, beautiful. It's the nicest piece of cucumber I've had in a very long time.
cucumber is so delicious.
That's
and
lovely.
filling.
Mm.
I'm going to put more back in now.
Yeah, I think so. Recharge the cucumber.
No, that's excellent.
So the James Joyce. There's another suggestion there.
Okay, yep.
James Joyce.
James Joyce. Facebook user, can you expand on why James Joyce? I'm interested.
Mm.
Yeah.
They're furiously typing away now, I hope.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I think so.
Well, so doing that, here's another suggestion. Lady of Leisure.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, not
Oh,
going away
yeah.
from the name, but just describing the person, the Lady of Leisure. That's quite nice, isn't it? I like that.
Mm.
Well, I think now they're just getting super fancy and building on one another. Look
That's
at this
right.
one.
There's nothing wrong with
Lady
building.
Cucubit.
That's clever.
It's very clever.
Especially those sorts of names, things that you think about the doyenne. People
Correct.
don't always immediately know what the meaning is.
Yeah.
Well, apparently she's a well-known gardener.
Oh, and well, yeah. So people ask those questions and it creates a conversation.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm.
Yeah, cool. Lady Cucumber.
James
Lady
Joyce, a well-known gardener.
Cucubit is a well-known gardener. And that would be cool, wouldn't it, to have a great story like that?
Absolutely. Creates a talking point.
Yeah.
It's a fine balance between intrigue and confusion, though. So you have to work that one out. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. The James Joyce, his silhouette looks like your logo. Also, his first book was written about a summer's day.
Ooh.
Huh.
Clever.
Oh, that's lifting
There's
it.
there's a backstory to this already. This is brilliant.
Yeah.
Because I assume most people understand where the bureaucrat comes from, that David and I are bureaucrats.
Yeah, let's just fill them in because not everyone, because we've got a lot of new members following from the
Since
first
our
box.
first box.
Yeah, so David is the business partner, and we both worked at the hospital in the finance department and didn't really know each other very well, but we're both having a bad day and bumped into each other in the kitchen by the water cooler, and he just goes, "There's got to be a better way of doing this." And I said something about brewing beer, and he went, "No, we'll do gin." And that's really where it started. But that he came round with some gins to educate me to a certain degree, and then we bought some stills that we were distilling in the laundry. And the reason for any of you that do hobby distilling, that's the attachment for the water cooler for your reflux still is. That's why it has to be in the laundry. But that's a by the by. But that's where it started, and we were trying to work through what names we were. And then David had this brainwave, and he texts me and he goes, "We should be called the Bureaucrats because that's what we are." And as soon as he said it, I went, "That's it." And it was such a quick and easy decision. And so we're Wellington-based bureaucrats, and that's where we started from. And we still are bureaucrats. He now works for the Ministry of Primary Industries, and I still work at the hospital in the finance department. So we're still doing our 9 to 5 jobs, and then this is our evening jobs, and keeps us busy. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
And John, what was the first gin that you there? Once you'd been through the kitchen or the laundry, and you came up with a recipe and so on. And the first gin that you really said, "Okay, this is it. We're going to go commercial with this."
Well, it was an early iteration of the Bureaucrat, because our first gin we ever did was just juniper. We thought, let's just see what juniper tastes like when you distill that. So we got an idea of that. That was fine. And then we thought, well, we'll add coriander seed. So juniper and coriander seed, and we did that, and we went, that's why they all use coriander seed as well. And then we added cinnamon, and as soon as we tasted that, it was an expletive. I won't say now, but we both said the expletive at the same time, and it was chin glasses and said, "That's something there. That's something there." And then we built on that, and with the cinnamon, we looked at things like, well, what else do you put with cinnamon? Where you put things like cardamom star anise and cumin and nuts. And so we built up this sort of profile and just mixing and matching and playing around with it. And so it was the Bureaucrat was the first one we ever settled upon. And the rest, as I say, is history. And then what David does, he goes out with these crazy ideas of different flavors that I wouldn't even dream of thinking of. But what he relies on me for is finishing them off. So he comes up with a combination, and then I refine them to a finished product, as close to finished product as we can get. Right. Yeah, it was the Bureaucrats. It was that cinnamon gin, and we've got a photo of ourselves just after we said that expletive. And he goes, "We've got to photograph this because we've got something." And he was right. We had something.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, good moment.
Yeah. And do you still distill from the laundry?
No. We do have to be a wee bit careful that we are squeaky clean when it comes to customs. So we don't do any of that anymore. So all of our R&D, as it were, is done down at the distillery, and it's no, the laundry is now just for laundry. I think my wife was getting a little bit tired of the stills being in there. It's not a big laundry, so yeah.
I can imagine.
Life's a balancing act, isn't it? You know, you've got to balance it well.
And your ambition for Bureaucrats, are you wanting to just keep it literally as a small craft distillery? Do you have ambitions for it to become your day job?
I don't think it'll ever become our day job as such. I have certain ambitions within my other career that are important to me. But for me, what this is, it started off as let's have some fun distilling. Then it grew into we could make something of this. Let's start a business. And our expectation was it wouldn't, we could just do it as a bit of a sideline. But what we've seen, we started in 2018, so it's coming up. Oh no, just over 3 years we've been going now. Mm-hmm. We've seen 30% growth each year, and we're now at the point I can't personally cope with the any more than what we're at. So I've kind of reached a ceiling of production. So. Right. Which is possibly why we've been a bit quiet when it comes to our advertising. And people have been saying, have you not posted anything recently? Well, actually, because our base customer is so large now, we're not struggling, but I'm kind of at the point where I again balance. I have a working life, I have a family life, 2 young children, and I have the gin. And so we're at that moment, that point of going, well, how do we then scale up without running ourselves into the ground? Because I have done the 80-hour weeks, I've done 90-hour weeks on some occasions, and it's not sustainable. Yeah. So I have to make sure that I don't go down that road again, because it's not a healthy way to be. So where to from here? That's a really, really good question. We've got a few ideas in the pipeline, but we'll see. We'll see how do we take it up, scale it up now. So while it started out as fun, it's become quite serious as well. Yeah. It's still serious fun, if you know what I mean. I never want to take away the fun. And David always said, while we're having fun, it's good. As soon as it stops being fun, we need to sort of question things and look at it. So we're still enjoying ourselves, and very much enjoying the academic process of running a business and all of that. So all of that's really interesting as well. So there's a few things going on, but we're in a healthy place and looking forward to summer. Yeah, brilliant. And have you got much inventory ready for the summer period? Because of course that's a big gin drinking time, isn't it? Yeah. It's all hands on deck now. Winter slightly drops off for us, which is a bit of a respite. Not too much, but enough to sort of get distilling and get bottling and stock up a little bit. So, absolutely, we'll just plow through and at the end of the day, it is fun. And the way we've got it now, it's great fun. We love being busy, and we can do short stints of being extra busy, but we just can't sustain that extra busyness. Yeah.
Well, that's brilliant, John. I mean, we honestly, I have to say that I absolutely love your gins. I think there are incredibly good quality gins. And yep, they're contemporary, but your Doyen is probably one of my favorites. This is just delicious. So yeah, we really look forward to being able to. Well, we just love the fact we can still get access to your gin, and look forward to seeing what comes along the line for you guys.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you.
It's really brilliant. Folks, we are heading into the last closing minutes of our time with John, who has distilling, family, work, health, exercise, and a bunch of other priorities he has to get back to, as we all do. And we don't want to get in the way of that, blueberry and lemon, or blackberry and lemon. We want to make sure we get some of that. So, John, any last thoughts from you? And just while we're wrapping up as well, folks, any last comments from you? Please put them in the comments suggestion. I'll wrap up in a minute. But John, any last thoughts from you?
No, I just want to say a big thank you to your customer base. This is you're the only one of this sort in the country, and it's brilliant that you're doing this, and your customers are wonderful. Love the opportunity to actually get direct to the customers we love, and just thank you very much for your time as well, and listening to me drone on about my business and my gins. So it's just great. Thank you so much,
John. It's the joy of our business. We get to meet fabulous people, and we get to taste amazing gins. You tick both those boxes. So thank you.
And you converted the person we never thought we'd convert. She's just
that's worth the whole thing. That's worth it. Absolutely.
I tell you what, John, you just don't know it, but we are going to get mileage off this for the next 6 months, I think. We're just going to have a great time over this. It'll be great. Nikki, watch out.
Folks, it's brilliant. So just in terms of wrapping up, thank you once again for spending the evening with us, and for your comments and your feedback and your suggestions. It's been absolutely brilliant. Just a reminder, though, as we wrap it up, we do have the gin in stock. It's ready to go. So the QR code is there. It will take you to the website, but it's there. It is on the site, and as Sarah just said, it actually is just / Bureaucrats, Cucumber, Lime, and Mint, because that's still the name. And we will have it off to you in no time at all. And as John pointed out, you can't get this anywhere else. So if you want to get it now. Get your stocks in for the summer season that's coming up. It's a limited release at this stage. And your names and your suggestions, keep them coming in. We will make sure that John and David get to see all of them, and then they can make a call. And there were a couple of ifs, we knew that. So I think it was 7 ifs, but no, maybe only 3 ifs. But hey, if they decide to go with it at full time, they are happy to put your credits on the back of the bottle. How good is that?
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Folks, as always, an absolute joy having you. It's why we love doing what we're doing. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we have. We hope you enjoyed the gin as much as we have. And next week we have the last of this particular box, and it's Ben. So Ben from down in Marlborough, the Roots Marlborough Dry Gin.
Mm-hmm.
So Elemental, Ben from Elemental is on live, and any of you who've met Ben will know that he's a real powerhouse as well. So passion and all sorts of things. We look forward to having Ben with us, and that will round out this particular box that we've got.
Oh, his gin's beautiful, really lovely. Highly recommend that. Stunning stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we have been so spoiled with the spring box, I have to say, John. Yep. Like when you guys said, well, actually, we've got this that we wouldn't mind putting in the box, I was like, oh my goodness, this is so exciting for spring, because it was just so perfect. Like this, yes, it tastes like summer, but when we're in spring, everyone's kind of going, oh, summer's just around the corner. And so to drink this is like, oh, there's a little glass of hope for me. that the days are going to get warmer, and this is going to be what I'm going to be drinking. So yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you so much for being in this box, John. It's been great.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, everybody, that rounds us out for the evening. Thank you so much for joining us. As Fraser said, we will see you again next week. In the meantime, ka kite anō, and stay safe, everybody.